All right, hello everyone. I'm excited to get our school year started. This is the first meeting of the fourth grade, and I see that there's some new faces in this meeting. So we're going to start out our meeting with a introduction where we go around and we talk about like our experience, our name, a fun fact about yourself, and then one of our focuses for this school year is to use our iPads more in our classroom. We got them last year and we noticed that like we didn't use them to their full potential. So just some ideas of how we can integrate them more into our subject matter. So let's start over here.
Okay. Hello, like most of us will already know me, but maybe you, I haven't seen you before. So my name is Mrs. Nora, and I've been teaching here for like 15 years already, so very long time, old face. And so yeah, my position is like fourth grade teacher with endorsement mathematics. And like fun fact, that is actually a good question. I really like baking, so it's kind of like about the iPads. Yeah, this is a thing. I don't really have any idea, to be honest, and I also kind of don't feel comfortable with them, and I still don't know why we actually need them. Yeah.
I'm Miss Ashley. I've been here for 7 years. I honestly don't know why we even bought the iPads. I feel like that was kind of a waste of money. That money could have been used better. So I have no ideas, honestly. I think we should just return them.
I'm Miss Araceli. I've been here for 5 years, and I teach fourth grade as well, reading. And a fun fact, I play tennis.
Awesome. So my name is Miss Lily, and as you guys know, this is my first year on your guys' team, and I'm really excited as a first-year teacher. I just graduated from UNO with an endorsement in special education, and I'm really excited to share with you guys some of the ways that technology can really implement, or how we can implement and really enhance our instruction.
All right, so there wasn't any like straight ideas, so let's kind of have a brainstorming session where we just kind of discuss how we can excel in our using our iPad. So throw out some ideas, like any ways that we can use them.
So one really great way to use the iPads more within the classroom would be to connecting them to social media, because this is something that students are already using so much outside of school. So one great way that you can use this is a project called Back to School Social Media Profile, and this is where students are able to create a social media project and introduce themselves to the classroom and to you when the school year starts. So that's just one way to connect social media and use our iPads a little bit more. And this is something that we already do. We always do get to know me activities at the beginning of the year, so this would be a fun way to do that.
Isn't this dangerous with all this social media things?
Yes, so that a lot of people are very hesitant to the use of social media because it can be used improperly, but what's great about introducing social media within the classroom is we can teach students and equip them with the tools that they need to use social media in a positive way, and then hopefully they can do that outside of school as well too.
So trying to build like a responsive student and giving them like skills to be able to use in the real world, because they're going to have social media anyways. So giving them those skills to know how to use it effectively.
Exactly. So like Mr. Caleb said, if we implement it in the classroom and show them how to positively use it, we can give them those skills while also connecting it back to our already existing content that we're teaching and planning for. So it's really great for the students.
I do like the idea that you're implementing like Facebook, I see here, just because they are familiar and they could see how it plays a role in the classroom as well. Kind of like with motivation and interaction.
Yes.
However, I'm like still skeptical on like the integration of like the iPads, just because they could go on any site at the time that they're in the classroom.
Yes, so that is something that is set up prior, and where the technology department will kind of come into play to ensure that there's those safety walls and different blocking so that the students can't go on things that we don't want them to.
I don't know how I feel about this, cause we already struggle so much with making sure that our students are paying attention in class. I feel like adding iPads when we're already trying to get them off of like Snapchat and everything would just like be confusing to them, because we yell at them for being on their phones and then we're giving them iPads. Like, I just don't see how that would work.
Yeah, so that's a really great point that you brought up, Mrs. Ashley, and I'm glad that you did, because I wanted to actually talk about that today. So like we kind of talked about earlier, utilizing social media and connecting it to the curriculum that we already have is really great for students, because we're able to teach them how to properly use it. And back to the blockage and different things, students wouldn't be able to use the iPads for personal use. So that would really help, but then just going back to giving them those skills and teaching them those skills of how to properly use it.
But I don't really get why we need it. I mean, we didn't use them the last years. Why do we need to use this now?
So what's great about implementing technology is that it can be used with already, like, things that we are already doing within the classroom. So one fun thing that I've learned throughout our meetings so far this summer that we do is exit tickets. And as you guys already know, since you're utilizing them in your classroom, is when you use a sticky note and students kind of recap the content that you discussed during a particular lesson. But then to make it more fun, you give them a limit of how many words they can use. And just like the social media app Twitter, you only have so many characters to post. So by utilizing actual Twitter on the iPad, students are then getting that exposure to technology, but it's already something that we've implemented.
What is this?
So Twitter is just a social media website similar to Facebook or Instagram, where students are able to tweet, and then you can go back in as a teacher and easily see where your students are at and what their understanding is.
I know some other schools that I've visited, they've used Twitter. They like set up hashtags, and so a teacher can actually see all of like what their students are posting and be able to have kind of a conversation with their students. Kind of talking more about technology and how we can use it. I know you were talking about the Facebook activity as like an introduction. How can we use like our technology and more academically?
So there's another really fun project that I've actually used and found successful, and that's designing an app where students are given the opportunity to use STEM and connect it to our existing STEM standards. So that's another way that we can implement technology to things we've already done to kind of eliminate that time nuisance of implementing technology.
I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm not a first year teacher anymore, so I have like a family that I need to take care of and everything. So I don't know how I would have time to go through all of the work of changing everything from the lessons that I already have into this new format.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, because that was another thing that Mr. Caleb and I actually wanted to talk about within this meeting, is since I am a first year teacher, I don't have a lot of requirements and responsibilities outside of the classroom other than planning. So this is where I would like to do all of the work that comes into play, so that I can give you guys the tools and equip you with the different skills you need in order to successfully implement this within the classroom.
Yeah, I would be interested in helping as well. I would like to navigate more of this, just because, you know, it's an unfamiliar terrain for me. However, you know, there is concerns with anything, so I would like to see the works.
Yeah, I think if all of us contributed a little bit here and there and just used particular lessons here and there to see that it is really successful when it's implemented correctly, that would really benefit all of us in our students' learning.
Yeah, I guess I can see the point, but I'm still like really afraid of it and really nervous, because I don't know how all of this works. So I might need like an extra class, specific introduction or to whatever, or might need a little bit more assistance, to be honest. But yeah, we'll see. I might eventually give it a shot. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we'll all come together. I know we all have concerns about it and if it will be successful or not, but that's where all of us contributing here and there a little bit will really help us to be successful, and that we can help each other out as a team.
So I noticed that you said that you had like content that's connected to like STEM standards. How does that like look like? What will it look like in the classroom?
Yeah, so that kind of leads back, this is just one particular example. There's many different ways that technology can relate back to STEM and other standards within different subjects, but the particular lesson that I've used that was successful is where students are able to design an app. And it was very successful when I did implement it.
Could we maybe do like a reward if we use this constantly of some sort? I don't know, how would you recommend?
So do you, just checking for clarification, do you mean a reward for the students or a reward for us as the teachers?
It would kind of be both, just because I think it would have clear benefits for the students as well as us, kind of trying to implement the technology, but also the students, how they are gonna benefit from the access of it.
Yeah, so I think that's something that we can kind of decide as we go, like a reward, but I think that is a really good idea. Thank you for bringing that up.
So, one of our school, focuses is we want to, reduce how much paper we use. And if we, use Twitter instead of using our, exit tickets and that kind of stuff, that'll cut down on our paper use and will, help us meet our goal as a school.
I mean, I still don't know how I feel about it, because the paper homework has always worked in the past, and, I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. These kids are still learning, and so I don't see why we need this.
That's a really good concern, and I'm glad you brought that up. But the biggest thing that I've seen personally throughout my use with technology and social media in general, as far as relating to school, is that it has very successfully enhanced the learning of students. I mean, being a first year teacher, I just graduated and I heavily used technology throughout my entire time of college, and I've just seen firsthand how much it can really help learning.
I mean, I guess if you're willing to do the majority of the work, I can try and bring it into my classroom a couple of times, I guess.
Well, I just want to thank you guys for listening to all of my